Hello, beautiful people. Today is 10th of June. My name is Sahil and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Friends, today we'll take a quote from Albert Camus, who's a French philosopher and one of the youngest recipient of the Nobel Prize in Literature. He says, democracy is not the law of the majority, but the protection of the minority. Now, friends, this particular quote becomes very much important into the wake of breach of minority rights. The full-fledged protest is going on right now into the USA, as well as here. Certain issues in this particular regard has also came. So, guys, you can use this quote into the society issues in GS paper number 1, social justice in GS paper number 2, as well as into the relevant essays on this particular dimension. Now, friends, discussing the mains question which I have given you yesterday. So it asks that inclusive model of development requires not only a sound government expenditure but also a congruence between growth and investment. Now, friends, this question is very open-ended, and into the last 2 years, UPSC is asking such open-ended questions. So there could be the different interpretations also in this particular regard. However, we need to prepared to handle these type of open-ended questions. Now, friends, into the question, you need to show the relation between the three ideas, that is the expenditure, growth, and investment. First of all, divide your answer specifically into three dimensions, that is intro, body, and conclusion. Now, guys, into the intro part, first of all, explain that what do you understand by the inclusive model of development. So, it simply means the development which takes care of everyone, particularly the deprived sections. Then, guys, we'll be going into the body and we'll be making a relation that expenditure should be made in order to drive the adequate growth, and growth not only for the different sectors but also for the people. Why? Because sectoral growth will give us investable capital, and the expenditure or the growth of people will give us the much needed human resource, and when both these factors will combined, then it will generate much needed revenue, and that revenue, when it will reach to the government will again use it for the expenditure, and a kind of a loop will be generated. Now, guys, here the government expenditure, the growth, and the investment are aligned together with each other, and this is actually the way in which the much needed results for the human development will also be generated. So, guys, this is the brief idea which we can use here. And guys, then coming to the conclusion, by following these strategies, India can fulfill the claim of being a welfareist democracy and can bring the sustainable development for all the people, which it has also pledged into the sustainable developmental goals promised in 2015. So, guys, that's all about this. And now let's take up the newspaper analysis. Now, friends, let's have a brief overview of the entire paper. So, guys, here a brief update on India China has been given. So, we will just very briefly look into this what has actually happened. Then, the social vaccine is the need of our. So, we will see that what exactly is and why right now more than medicinal vaccine, social vaccine is needed. Then, guys, moving forward in between section, there has been no important news. However, on the page number 5, there is a news with respect to the data leak and release onto the dark web. So certain cyber security related concepts will be seen here. Then, guys, we are into the editorial section, and the first editorial talks about the unlock 1.0 and what are the problems here. Then, guys, we will look an account onto the racism and we'll see that how actually it has been infused into the system. Then into the next editorial, we will see an alternative stand view onto the vocal for the local campaign. Then, guys, here the issue of Delhi government with respect to the reserving of hospital for the citizens have been given, and only one article, that is 21, has been mentioned. But into the past few days we had seen the ethical consideration as well as legal consideration. In ethical consideration, we had seen the point of view of the deontologist and the efficiency principle, whereas into the legal dimension, we had seen the article 14, 15, 19, 21, 38, 39, and 41, how all these articles might be violated here. So, guys, into the much more and better understanding, we had done this thing, so we'll not be doing from here into the past 2 days we had seen. Then going into the next editorial, flattening the climate curve, we'll see what has been given here. Then, guys, this particular article talks about the LAC issue, and every day we are following it very carefully, and no new points have been given here. Then moving forward, guys, here the issue with respect to the water sharing has been mentioned, so we will see what exactly has been given. Then guys, into this particular article, please tell me into the comments that right now it is being said that parliament doesn't have seating space. So what could be the alternative strategies? In past 2 3 articles I have taken in this particular dimension, though here nothing has been given, but please try to tell what could be the alternative strategies, could be very important. Then moving forward, guys, here's a news where some fundamental rights are being violated. We will see what actually has which rights are violated here. Then moving forward, the blowout into the Assam, we'll see here the issues respect to that. Then guys, here there's nothing news, no news here. Then we are in foreign also, there is no news, only the clashes, restrictions related news are there. Then into the business page, we will see that government is reviewing the MSME revival plan, and it's this dimension. What is this ECLGS? Then guys, moving forward onto the last page, we will see some relevant examples which could be used into the GS paper 2 education sector. So guys, that's all, and now let's take up the detailed analysis. Now, guys, we are following this India China standoff from so many days, and we had seen recently that the Lieutenant General level talks has been started, and the major bone of contention, that is the Gogra Post Fingers region near the Pangong Lake and the Galwan Valley, are being discussed here. So, guys, now it has been decided that the People's Liberation Army of China will be withdrawing from certain conflict points. However, into the fingers region area, no breakthrough has been achieved. And by the way, this is the most important region from where India wants that the Chinese should leave as early as possible. Friends, earlier we had also seen this map where I've shown you the fingers region. So again, just revising that this entire Chang Chenmo range, which is onto the north of Pangongso Lake, is called by the name fingers. And Indian army had held controlled the region up to finger number 4 and claims the region up to finger number 8. And now the Chinese have came to this finger 4 region and have dug up themselves here into the finger 4. Now India wants that they should retreat back to their original position and the status quo should be restored. Now guys, one more thing comes here, that why we are so much concerned into this fingers region, because this particular region lies near the Chushul approach, and the Chushul approach is a point from where the Chinese most probably can strike, because the terrain there favors the Chinese side. So guys, this is all going on here, and India is very keen to reach a settlement onto the dispute which is occurring here. However, we'll not go much deeper into the issue, as multiple times we had discussed it, and from the very start we are tracing the entire situation. So guys, that's it. Now we'll go to next. Now, friends, here the social vaccine has been mentioned, which has been described as the need of the hour by the Union Health Minister. Now, friends, we had seen into the last few days that social vaccine has been used very repeatedly. Why? Because into the case of pandemics and infectious diseases, this social vaccine is even more important than the medicinal vaccine, because medicinal vaccine can fail, but the social vaccine is fail proof by its very nature. And when we talk about social vaccine, it is a combination of a lot of things which stops the spread of disease. For example, social distancing, wearing of masks, maintaining proper hygiene, all these things are the example of the social vaccine. And these social vaccine can be inculcated into the people via the behavioral change communication strategies. And guys, into the developing countries such as India, where the health infrastructure is very much less, there the social vaccine becomes even more important. Therefore, the health minister calls it as the need of hour. Now we need to flatten the curve from the very start. Now guys, if you don't know, then here I'll explain that what is the flattening of curve. See, from the very start, if the number of cases will rise very rampantly, then after a particular point we will reach above our healthcare capacity, and there will be large number of people who will be suffering. But if the same number of cases rise very gradually, then what will happen? We will not be breaching our healthcare capacity, and everybody will get the treatment. And to flatten the curve, the most important thing is the social vaccine. You need to keep the safe distance, need to wear the mask, maintain the hygiene, and all these kind of things. Now moving forward, friends, countries such as Uganda and Thailand has shown the effectiveness of the social vaccine during their fight against the HIV AIDS pandemic, which was very much rampant throughout 1985 and 1990. So hereby instilling a desired sexual behavior into the people, the pandemic was averted, and India also performed very good in this particular regard. So again into the present crisis, the social distancing is being called out. Now, friends, there is high probability that in GS1 or GS2 there could be a question on social vaccine. So please be prepared. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now, here, friends, the internal data of a government PSU BEML has been leaked onto the dark web. Now, it is a very serious breach because the BEML is a government PSUs and it is involved into the manufacturing of the defense equipments and various equipments for the mining and construction as well as for the rail and metro also. Now, this happens to be a very serious breach as the nature is very much critical. Moreover, prima facie, it is being believed that a cyber terrorism agency from the Pakistan is responsible for this attack. Now, guys, the data has been taken. It involves various information that was exchanged between the officials, and the information has been posted onto the dark web. Now, first of all, let's understand by what do we mean by these terminologies. See, first of all, there is the World Wide Web or the surface web, which is accessible by the common search engines such as Google and Yahoo. But this particular layer is only the 4% of the total internet, and it includes only the indexed websites. However, below the World Wide Web, there is one more deeper layer which is called as deep web, and guys, it includes the sensitive pages which are not indexed onto the Google search engines. You either need to know their exact location or you need to have a link which has been specifically provided. So see, deep web is not the illegal thing because many a times your sensitive information is also kept into the deep web, so it is not openly available. However, there is one more deeper layer which is called as the dark web, and this is the information which is kept into the highly encrypted formats, and you need the special softwares or platforms such as Tor to access here, and many a times it contains the illegal and classified information which has been stolen. So guys, now the data has been posted here into the dark web where most of the times illegal activities takes place. Now this matter is very much serious because right now, guys, you know that the majority of critical infrastructure is dependent onto the robust cyber security, and into the wake of such kind of a breach over a defense PSU, serious question marks are raised. Now, guys, in India, ensuring the robust cyber security is the work of the CERT-IN, which stands for the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team and has been composed under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Now, friends, this particular episode reflects various systemic problems in India. See, on one hand, we are entering the age of Internet of Things and the fourth industrial revolution, and on the other hand, such a type of security breaches into the cyber security is occurring. So, guys, serious upgradation onto the technological as well as structural capabilities is needed right now. So that's all, and now we'll move to next. Now, friends, we are into the editorial section, and this editorial talks about the anti black racism which is going on into the USA right now. Now, friends, as we talk about racism, first of all, what do we understand by this particular term? So, friends, just giving a description to a person onto the basis of his color or any physical attribute consists of the wholehearted racism. Then, guys, it may a subtle racism, but actually we don't condemn this particular thing as a racism because often describing a person on the basis of his physical attributes also happens to be an expression of art. For example, in poetry, novel, literature, many a times a person is described onto the basis of his physical attributes, but that is not taken as wrong. Moreover, into the Indian mythology, Lord Shri Krishna has also been called blue in color, which denotes his darker complexion, but that also thing is not taken into the negative light. So the question comes then, what actually is racism and when it becomes the problematic? Now, guys, before going into that, we will understand the concept of race. See, race is a biological concept. According to this thing, there are various distinctions into the people which can be made onto the basis of a physical attributes that they are sharing. Now, guys, these physical attributes are majorly due to the geographical changes. For example, if we see that if we take the example of Africa as a continent, then guys, the majority of Africa lies into the tropical region where the sunlight is more, and due to that particular thing, there is induced melanin production into the skin, due to which darker skin tone is there, which protects them. However, if we go into the temperate region or into the frigid region, there the skin tone is light in color because melanin is not produced, which is majorly dependent onto the heat. And not only the color, but various other physiological things also change. For example, the texture of hair, the shape of the nose, the height, and all these kind of things. So now, guys, people living in Africa will be having a specific set of attributes into their physical orientation, and these attributes will be passed on to the other members via reproduction. And guys, into the mean course of time, all the people having such type of attributes will be classified as a separate race. So we have large number of races. Now, guys, when we call to the concept of race, so some people say that it is a biological construct, but there are other people also who say that race is not biological, rather a cultural or a social construct. Actually, there is no differences internally, but by culture and by society these things have been sustained. However, moving forward, till now there is no problem. But guys, what happens many a time, this race is affixed with certain characteristics which are also passed through the lineage or through the descent. So it means that your father is not only passing you the physical properties, but also a mental caliber, also a psychological mind frame, also a social outlook. And it is assumed that these characteristics are cannot be separated from the personality of a person. And even it is believed that ethics, morality, values, everything is different for a specific group of a person. And into the mean course of time, this understanding becomes so reinforced and deeply ingrained that just by seeing the face of a person, you can tell his entire mental psychological outlook. Now, guys, the problem starts to emerge. Now a question will develop, therefore why the problem will emerge, because guys, onto these characteristics, onto these value systems, people will then be segregated into the higher races as well as into the lower races, and the higher races will feel that they have the right to have a domination on all the lower races, and whatever they want they can do because they are the more superior ones. And now into this particular direction, the discrimination will begin with the person who are supposedly called as inferior. And now, guys, into this hatredness, there is also again twin folded segregation. Now certain classes, though inferior, but still they can be tolerated and they will be enslaved, will be given menial jobs. And certain races are there which will not be tolerated just for a grain, and they will be eliminated, exterminated. And this particular thing we can see into the Holocaust, which was taken very systematically by the Hitler into the Germany, also called as the anti-Semitism, where the Jews were systematically targeted. Now, guys, such a type of consciousness is not only always onto the basis of color. In India, also, we can see such kind of orientation or consciousness, but there the reason is the caste. Now, coming back to the matter of discussion, that is USA. Now, you might be knowing that the USA was populated by the Europeans, and Europeans always had a consciousness onto the basis of color, and that consciousness was instilled into the USA also. So, therefore, the hatredness against black is very old. And in this very direction, the slavery was also allowed earlier into the USA, which was nothing but a right to make blacks as the slave. And for that particular thing, anti-slavery movement started, which actually removed slavery, but racism was not removed. And therefore, for that particular thing, the civil rights movement was started in the 1950s, and influential people such as Martin Luther King Jr. was associated here. Now, friends, though equality onto the paper has been reached, but recent killing of a black person, George Floyd, by a white police officer sends a testimonial that still psychologically racism has not been removed. Now, friends, large number of people think that racism in US will be removed by the better laws or by the better education or just by the change of heart, but that thing has not been proved till now. And even the protest against the racism also starts when such kind of incidents take place. Now, guys, on the surface, open discrimination though has been removed, but that discrimination has reached to the more systematic level, and systematically the people are exploited. For example, into the education system, into the job, into the other kind of recognition related areas, blacks are still segregated, and due to this particular thing, black people are still living into a kind of an insecurity and often resorts to the petty crimes. And friends, when the blacks are involved into these crimes, many a times their crime is regarded as a felony, which happens to be a very serious charge. And once a person is regarded as a felon, then into the various southern state, his right to vote is taken back and various rights are taken back. And now the systematic discrimination becomes even more open and people start to do this thing. Now, guys, basically what is happening into this entire scenario, a kind of a chain has started where blacks are living in insecurities and committing crimes, then going to the jail, and now a kind of a database has been made where large number of black peoples are there who had committed crimes than the white people. And guys, onto this particular database again a belief is reinforced that blacks are inherently they are into the crimes. So friends, this system has to be broken, and in this education can play a secondary role, but the primary role can be made by changing the social structure, habits, practice, as well as institution, and only then the racism like tendencies can go away. So guys, this is the all content which is provided into this editorial, and now we'll move to next. Now, friends, this particular editorial gives an alternative viewpoint onto the vocal for local campaign that is going right now. Now, guys, into the pandemic, the Prime Minister has called that we should go for the Atmanirbharta. And for Atmanirbharta, we need to be more vocal for the local. That is nothing but an appeal to buy the locally produced commodities and goods. Now, guys, according to the editorial, the idea of vocal for local is good, but the understanding is a little bit flawed. Now, the editorial says that rather than going for the indigenous buying of the goods, we should care for the local people who are going back to their villages, because when they will reach back, they will not be having any social security there. So, social security nets should be given to these people. Now, guys, whenever we talk about the villages, government is limited only to two type of strategies. One is providing them the Kisan credit card, assuming that everybody is a farmer there, and second is the employment assistance into the form of MG Narega, assuming that nobody is having a particular skill set into the rural areas. But that kind of understanding is wrong, and now even more local people will be reaching back to their villages. So therefore we need to make alternative employment strategies into those regions as well as areas, because traditionally these receiving states such as Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Jharkhand has substantially lacked these kind of strategies. And now coming to the government's version for vocal for local, that is procuring the indigenous goods, according to the editorial, might not be the good strategy, guys, because the manufacturing in India is being promoted onto the wake of concessions, quotas, tariffs, government procurement, and all these kind of things, and they are not being promoted onto the scale of competitiveness, innovation, good quality, etc. And in this particular thing, giving an appeal for the local goods might be misplaced. So, friends, according to the editorial, reliance onto the globalization is not bad, and it says that if we take little examples, then the India might be reaching good results because of some other countries' success and efforts. And here, the example of the renewable energy is being given. So, here it is being said that renewable energy became successful in all or the major of the countries because of the Chinese solar panels, because they were substantially low into the cost, and because of the low cost the tariff of the solar energy also became very low, and the majority of countries were able to adopt the renewable energy. So guys, in this particular direction, there are various countries which have better competitive edge, innovation, and the good quality, even at the lower cost. So that thing should not be ridiculed. Moreover, guys, it is also being said that the pandemic has made us realize the importance of interdependencies, and therefore even more global engagement is needed to be given. However, into the long term, if we actually need to focus on our indigenous manufacturing capabilities, then guys, adequate steps has to be taken by the government, and the centralized structure will not be working. We need to go for the decentralized approach, and here center should give the powers as well as fund to the state, and state should go to the even lower level, that is the panchayats, and there the societies and communities should be empowered in such a way that they produce goods which are not only cheap but are highest onto the standard of quality, innovation, as well as competitiveness. So guys, so long the prime minister gave the idea of zero effect and zero defect, that is no effect onto the environment and no defect in terms of the quality. So guys, according to the article, this is the actual way to perceive the vocal for local. So guys, that's all. Now we'll move to next. Now, guys, government is going with the unlock 1.0, where large number of restriction has been eased, and there one restriction about the public worship has also been eased, and now the public temples etc. can open, though they are required that there should be the process of giving the online registration, e-passes, social distancing, and all these kind of things. But still, we need to see that are we ready to take such a step. Now India has been the top 5 countries into the number of cases, and in that time opening the religious places might not be a good idea. And in this direction, certain religious in Islamic bodies and churches have shown a progressive mindset, and themselves they had said that they will not be opening up the premises. Now guys, according to the ICMR, the population of the diabetic people have increased substantially since 1990s, and the people with diabetes are even more susceptible to the COVID-19. So in this particular direction, they are even more susceptible, and opening of the temple is just a kind of a luxury for which India should not right now go for. Moreover, WHO has also warned that the countries such as Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh could be the next hotspots, and the cases could explode if the adequate steps are not taken. So the guys, national policy of the government should be in such a way that only the essential type of activities should be allowed, and the call to open the religious places should again be taken. Now this editorial talks about the urgent interventions that are needed to tackle the climate change. Now, guys, this editorial take two prominent themes. One is the concentration of carbon dioxide into the environment, and other is the temperature rise. Now, talking about the first, see, it has been said that into the last 1 million year, it has been seen that the concentration of CO2 rises and then comes back to their normal level. So it is a kind of a cyclic thing. And in this direction, it is being said that on an average, the low level of CO2 is 200 parts per million, and then it rises gradually to maximum 280 to 300 parts per million, and then comes back to 200 parts per million. And guys, such a type of cycle started 18,000 years back when the CO2 concentration was 200 parts per million, but it didn't come back to its normal levels. Rather, if we see today, then we have crossed nearly 407 ppm in 2018. Now, guys, this particular level is substantially low given the fossil that we had actually burnt. Since the industrial revolution, so much coal has been burnt, but nature has been kind to us as larger concentration of CO2 from the environment has been taken. For example, the CO2 has been dissolved into the oceans, it has been used by the vegetation which is growing. But even after doing all these things, we still had reached the alarming concentration of CO2 which has never been achieved. And now, friends, after this, we come to the next theme, that is a temperature rise. So, it has been said that the temperature is rising since 1850, but substantial burnt has been noticed since 1975. And in 2015, the whole 1 degree Celsius temperature has been risen when we see the record of the last 100 years. And it is being said that if we continue the present pace of our developmental activities, then by 2100 there will be the rise of 4 degrees Celsius. And guys, the impact of this temperature rise can be seen in various forms. For example, the Amazon fire that are taking place every year, and this last year the Australian bushfires which we had seen, one of the most destructionist. Moreover, not only this, but there have been the rising incidences of the heat wave also. And guys, for example, in 2003 European heat waves, nearly 70,000 people were killed. Moreover, you might have also read that since 2015, every year we are seeing is the warmest year, and the March of 2020 has been the warmest month on the record. And in this particular direction, it has also been said that the extremely hot days will also be increasing substantially if the present trend continues. So, guys, this is very clear that the problem has been very much immense, but still, there are a lot of implementational challenges. For example, it has been estimated by the IPCC, that is Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that we need $2.4 trillion annually up to 2035 if we need to bring some impact onto the climate change. And guys, this money is equivalent to 2.5% of the global GDP. Guys, please remember this data. You can write it into your answers. Now the thing comes that such a money, where from where it will be coming? Now in 2009, the developed countries promised that they will be providing the $100 billion per year by 2020 to the poorer countries for the mitigation as well as to adapt to the climate change. But guys, such money has not came, and it has just been a promise. In 2017, the data was released according to which only $71 billion has been paid, which is substantially less as what was the pledged. Moreover, guys, countries are also accusing the richer countries that this money also includes various other developmental grants as well as the loans. And guys, the funny thing is that loan has also been repaid back, but still they are being counted. So developed countries are not coming forward by the open arms. Now it has been said that nature finds its own course, and in this particular scheme, COVID 19 has been an excuse, as automatically the emissions and the pollution that was happening has came to a standstill, and now the nature is also breathing out. And now, guys, everybody is concerned with the problems of COVID 19 and is ready to give anything. But we are not anticipating that much worse problem will come when the climate change will show its impact. And according to studies, it can say that we can increase the temperature by only 2 degrees Celsius. And anyhow, already we had increased up to 1 degree Celsius. So only the margin of 1 degree Celsius is there if we want to keep the things normal. Moreover, if we want to save the island nations, then the upper limit is only 1.5 degrees Celsius. There is not even the margin of 1 degree in that case. And guys, therefore, urgent steps are needed by all the member countries. Now, the countries are relying that some miracle will happen. For example, some technology will come and it will automatically absorb a billion tons of CO2 from environment. But that thing is not happening into the nearby times. Moreover, that technology is also very expensive. Then guys, the then guys, also it has been said that we can induce the aerosols into the stratosphere, due to which the sun's intensity will be reduced. But these kind of experiments can also bring certain unintended consequences. So guys, there is not a magic pill in these ways which will be working. We had to act right now in order to bring some considerable impacts and control onto the climate change. So guys, this is all about this particular article. I hope you have understood. Now we'll go to next. Now, friends, in this article, the Krishna Godavari water dispute between the Andhra Pradesh and the Telangana has been mentioned. Now, guys, these two states are fighting over the river water of two important rivers, that is the Krishna and the Godavari. Now, guys, before going forward, the Krishna river rises into the Mahabaleshwar in Maharashtra, and the Godavari rises in Trimbakeshwar in Maharashtra. Both of them flow through the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana along with their tributaries. Now both the states have constructed large number of projects over both the rivers and accuse each other that they are violating the agreements onto the river water sharing. And now, guys, into the present crisis, the Andhra Pradesh government has proposed to draw the water from the Shri Salam reservoir, which is onto the Krishna river, and the Telangana has the problem with this particular step. Now, guys, this is a river water dispute, and if we talk in this particular regard, then the river water disputes are dealt under Article number 268, where Parliament is empowered to pass any law to resolve the river water disputes and can also prevent the Supreme Court in order to take any adjudication onto these type of disputes. Now, guys, Parliament using the provisions of Article 262 had created the State River Water Act of 1956 as well as Interstate Water Dispute Act of 1956, and these two acts deal with the river water disputes in India. Now, guys, the dispute on Krishna River is very old, and as early as 1969, the Krishna Water Dispute Tribunal was formed by the Parliament under the Interstate Water Dispute Act. At that point of time, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana was not separate, and the dispute was between Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. So, guys, it was partly successful and not completely successful, the finding of this particular tribunal. However, what happened in 2014, both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana was separated, and in between them, there was a kind of a agreement onto the river water sharing also. And now both of them accuse that each of them is violating and using more water than was allocated to them. So, guys, in this particular background, now the central government will be looking into the matter and will see that who is wrong and who is right here, and whether actually the Andhra Pradesh government is violating the provision of the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act and using more water or not. Now, guys, you don't need to go into the teeny tiny details. Just have an overview over Article 262, the Interstate Water Act, and all these kind of things. Don't go much deeper than this. So, guys, this is all. Now we'll go to next. Now, guys, into this particular news, we will see one fundamental right which could be usable. See, what has happened recently, the National Human Right Commission passed an order to rescue nearly 187 workers who are trapped into a brick kiln, and minimum wages were not being given to them. So, guys, this order was to be implemented by the state government, but state government refused to implement it, saying that they are busy in handling the migrants who are coming back. So, guys, in this particular thing, the state Supreme Court has directed the government that they need to take the urgent steps. The reason come why, which fundamental right is being violated here. So, guys, this particular type of situational question could be asked. So the answer is Article number 23 of the fundamental right is being violated because it provides for the prohibition of traffic in human being and forced labor. And, guys, it has been held very clearly by the Supreme Court that forced labor is not a physical force, but if you pay somebody below the minimum wages, then it is also a type of a forced labor. So, guys, this particular thing has been protected under Article number 23. So, therefore, Supreme Court has been directed. So, just, guys, please remember this thing. Now we'll move to next. Now, guys, here we can see an example of the anthropogenic disaster, that is human induced disaster. So, what has happened? A blowout has occurred into a gas well. Now, guys, from last 13 days, the well was spewing up the gas and its related elements, but the attention was not being paid into the proportion that it should needed to be given. And finally, there was a blowout at the site. Now, guys, this particular well is located very much near to the Dibru Sekhowa National Park, which is into the state of Assam. And, guys, due to being a national park, it also happens to be a hotspot of biodiversity and various endemic species of animals. Moreover, guys, this Dibru Sekhowa National Park also lies into the vicinity of the confluence of three most rivers, that is the Siang, Dibang, and Lohit. And, guys, please remember, when the Siang meets with the Dibang and Lohit, it is called as the Brahmaputra. However, guys, coming to the news, the question arises that such an massive explosion into ecologically fragile region can call also for some other unintended consequences, and why, when the gas was being spewed for 13 days, attention was not taken and the preemptive steps were not taken. So guys, into the aftermath of pandemic, these type of accidents can further aggravate the already bad situation. So guys, we can use this particular example as a case study, and now we'll move forward. Now friends, here government is taking a stock whether the private banks are taking participation into the MSME revival plan which has been initiated by the government recently. Now guys, we had seen into the series of video that more than 3 lakh crore rupees revival plan has been announced. Now guys, and already we see the existing condition, then a large loan has been given to the MSME by the private banks also. So there has a little bit apprehension into the private banks in giving the new loans. So therefore government is looking into the matter whether the private banks are participating or not. Now guys, first of all the loans, that is 3 lakh crore rupees loan that will be given to the MSME, they will be provided under the emergency credit line guarantee scheme. So our objective is to see what exactly this stands for. So friends, it is a scheme to provide 100% collateral free loans to the MSME. Now, collateral free means that no guarantee has to be given by MSME. Rather, guarantee will be given by the National Credit Guarantee Trust Company. And in case MSME defaults, money will also be paid by them. So, guys, but still there are a large number of problems that there have been substantial delays by the NCGTC to give money to the bank. So, therefore, the banks are still apprehensive to give the loan. So, guys, in this particular direction, thus review is being made. So guys, please remember these small things, they have been asked into the prelims. So that's it. Now we'll move to next. Now friends, the contents of this particular news will be used when we will be writing the question onto the status of higher education in India. So there have been certain problems, and there we can write the example of certain world rankings. So friends, according to the QS World University Rankings, the total number of Indian institutes in the top 1000 list has fallen from 24 to 21. Earlier they were 24, now they are 21. So guys, this shows that the status or is declining. Now guys, into this entire thing, it has been said that the status is declining because of the factor of internationalization. Now guys, it requires that how many international students are studying in our universities and how many international faculties are teaching here. So in this particular parameter, India is not able to perform really good. Moreover, when the number of teacher versus student ratio is seen, then India only accounts for the full time teachers, whereas countries such as America also counts their research scholars, PhD students also as the teachers, but India doesn't include that. So therefore we have also a little bit bad teacher student ratio. So due to these things, the ranking has been gone down. So guys, when you need to justify, please use the two examples that why it is down, and otherwise as the requirement of question is there, you can use the data from here. So guys, that's all, and now we'll move to question section. Now friends, we are into the MCQ section. Please pause the video and try to answer the questions. First question is with respect to the National Productivity Council. So please see the options and try to identify the correct code. Friends, question number 2 is with respect to the National Crisis Management Committee. Please tell who heads it. Now, the third question is on the Essential Commodities Act. Guys, it has been repeatedly into the news. Please try to identify the right option. Now, guys, question number 4 is with respect to the Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. It is very important into the export sector. So please try to identify the right code. Now, guys, the time for the mains question. The mains question is that being vocal for local can be materialized only with the success of Make in India. And in this light, critically examine the progress of Make in India. Guys, please try to keep it multidimensional. So, guys, that's all for today. I hope you are liking the discussion. Thank you so much.